Floodplains are undoubtedly one of the best places to observe birds. It's often possible to have an unobstructed view of an amazing variety of species drawn together by the abundant provision of water-based nutrients. They seasonally harvest the invertebrate, fish, reptile and small mammal bounty, and at times the sheer concentration of bird life can be breathtaking. This is the time when the wetlands are truly a wildlife refuge. A small amount of water must be shared among a wide variety of species. A huge range of water birds, both local residents and migrants, and other bird species which feed on the aquatic insect bounty such as kingfishers, bee-eaters and various honey-eaters, are among the more obvious dry season inhabitants. Billabongs are a vital aspect of any floodplain system. They represent deep, permanent freshwater and are the products of ever-changing river courses. During the dry season, they are the lifeline for much of the fauna. During the inundation of the wet season, they are once again joined by water to the main rivers and are almost indistinguishable. Yams were an important part of the Aboriginal diet and are still very popular. The long yam, Dioscorea transversa, or limbi, is found in the monsoon vine forests. The roots are dug up, cooked and eaten. They taste like potato. The best time to find the long yam is in the dry season. The dried leaves are identified and traced to the roots. The roots are dug out with a sharp pointed digging stick. The little bush potato, Brachystelma glabriflorum, is also a favourite ground food when it can be found, usually in the wet season. It is called...
By observing how animals move, you can also see how the tracks get made. You can see how this kangaroo is slowly moving and the way its front and rear feet and its tail touch the ground. The tracks would be very different if it was running away. All the kangaroo and wallaby species leave similar tracks, but the size will be different. When you are looking at tracks, try to see if there are marks from feet, limbs, tails, and other things like claws, the shape of the foot, and the size. Snakes leave a smooth drag mark, and crocodiles both leave a drag mark with their tail when walking, but with their whole belly when they are sliding. Goannas leave a track with their tail that bends from side to side because of the way their body swings as they walk. The echidna, which has very large claws on its hind feet, leaves some quite distinctive tracks because the claws leave a mark. Sometimes fire is one of the most complex and important issues in the wet-dry tropics. It is an integral part of the ecological processes at work here. On the Australian continent, many of the species of plants and animals are well adapted to fire, with some species requiring fire or smoke as part of their life cycle.
The catchment of each river is denoted by raised topographic boundaries. One such boundary separates the Adelaide from the Mary River. A line of weathered granite hills stretches from near the coast away to the south in the direction of Katherine. Standing above the quartzite and shale ridges of the lower hills is a high but broken ridge of weathered granite boulders.
The rugged and heavily dissected sandstone surface of the ancient Arnhem Plateau is a place of extreme aridity in the dry season, while the opposite is true during the wet. The great seasonal extremes of this habitat have induced some interesting survival strategies amongst its plant and animal inhabitants. Kakadu has an extremely long and continuous human history. The most impressive aspect of this close association between humans and landscape is that over more than 40,000 years of occupation, and in contrast to most other places on Earth, there was virtually no human alteration to the natural landscape. Archaeologists working in Kakadu in recent times have been able to establish baseline occupation dates from some old escarpment rock shelters, ranging from 21 to nearly 60,000 years. It has not yet been determined just when humans began to occupy this part of Australia. For many forms of wildlife, this is the beginning of breeding rituals and displays, and the energy they require for this is supplied to a large degree by the humble termite, as they release millions of winged alates into the atmosphere to breed. The high-protein alates are a popular food with all forms of wildlife as they greedily participate in this annual feast.